So anyway, so what I'm doing now is I'm learning to help myself to deliver content. So as I deliver content, I'm making sure I have a greater time with myself, of course. And I'm learning to help myself in the process of everything to do greater. So I'm loving my life, yeah. I'm learning. I have 52 views. I have 52 views already. I understand Serbian people are onto I. See, they love me. And I want to see how much likes I have on the actual video. Let's see, do I have any likes?
Ja tebe mater.
See, I have 1 like and 1 dislike. See, somebody dislikes me. It's a little bit that way. And it's more how it is, guys. I mean, you have to be growing yourself, yeah? And what I'm doing over here is I'm learning very quickly about life. I'm learning to help myself to articulate, to grow myself differently, and I'm learning in the process of everything. I'm learning how to have myself a great time. So as I grow myself differently, I'm definitely learning. So let's have a look over here. I'm going into audio and I'm going in the nice and beautiful Serbian range over here. I can put Y. I can put Y over here. I can download the rest. See, it's more how you guys need to help yourself do much greater. But it's much more how I understand straight away how I feel. And how I feel is very different. And how I feel is much more I have to grow. But if you have to touch other people, then make sure that you understand that they touch you first. I mean, make them touch you first. I mean, never be the one touching them first. I mean, be very kind to understand straight away that it's much more how it is, yeah? And be very kind toward people. I mean, make sure that if you're about to have a kid or something, that they're your girlfriend before you touch them. I mean, never touch a woman or man unless they're your girlfriend or boyfriend. I'm pretty sure you must understand that. Now, I'm learning something different all the time. I'm making sure I'm learning how to grow myself in different ways. And I'm performing and outperforming myself. I'm always learning. I'm learning something different. So, as I grow myself differently, I'm making sure that I'm learning how to produce music. I'm learning how to code software. I'm learning how to have empathy with what I say and do. I'm just learning from every situation. So that's what you guys need to do. I can say you guys need to go and grow yourself from every situation possible. I can say you guys need to grow yourself and make sure that you are somebody that loves yourself right now, and you're making sure that no matter what, that you're enjoying yourself in the process, yeah? And that way I'm learning very quickly about my life as well. I'm learning how to have freedom of choice in my life differently. I'm learning to have my beautiful way of life move forward. So before I do anything, I make sure to test everything. I make sure that no matter what, that I'm learning very quickly about how to make melodies, because if you're somebody who lacks melody knowledge, then you have to go and make melodies, and you have to study how to make a melody for yourself. And you have to study about how to do everything yourself these days. Because if you want to live the lifestyle, you have to get with the program. You have to really, really enjoy yourself differently, yeah? And apparently you have to understand straight away to be different. And as you become different, you're enjoying yourself differently. And it's because you have that nice and beautiful tone going. And the tone of what? I mean, the tone of your life is very different. And that way you're enjoying yourself. So go and always check exactly what you need to do daily to succeed differently. And if you're really performing and outperforming people, that you are seeing exactly what you need to do to succeed. So it's much more how it is, yeah? I see it's much more how it is. So it's very funny the way I do it, because the way I do it is very different, and you have to be very different in your life. And that's how I feel about my life. I feel I'm very different in terms of what I'm doing, but I can see straight away how I feel. I'm learning different artifacts. I'm learning a different way of being and different ways of saying something. I'm learning how to help myself to enjoy life. And that's how I feel. So make sure that you are learning how to actually have artifacts in your life, which are just anything that helps you grow. And learn how to pronounce it much greater, and learn how to be much greater with yourself about it. And then make sure that you have the 10 pillars of success, which are just making sure you understand your word I, and understanding the ideas, and understanding your freedom, and understanding how to do content, and making sure that no matter what, that you're loving your life, and making sure that you're happy, and making sure that you're very confident. And I understand, and also being able to make sure that you can speak in front of people and public speak, and making sure that you love your life in a way that you're helping other people grow to the best extent possible, to make sure that you're very kind, and to make sure that you're very kind in ways that you grow. And that's it. I promise you must understand those are the 10 ways, and understand straight away that every single day you must understand very quickly how to grow. I promise you it's much more how I feel. So no matter what, that with music and stuff like that, I promise you it's always that. I promise you it's always that kind of plan. I'm always planning that way. I'm understanding just try out and test sounds and test equipment. I promise you that's it. I promise you test equipment and put the time in to test equipment, and put the time in to make sounds happen. And that's it. I promise you must understand. And that way you're enjoying yourself, yeah? I mean, make yourself a sound effect pack, and make yourself your own packs in life. And then you can always use it in your projects. And that's it. Of course, you can always make a pack and make these sound effect packs. And in the sound effect pack, just put what you want in it. And that way you're always growing yourself to the best ability possible. So what I'm doing now is I'm learning how to create interest. And because I create interest, I'm learning how to understand it's new times now. So I have to give more silence, yeah? As I give more silence, I realize now is the time for me to just keep growing. And I'm learning very quickly about life. I'm learning to understand straight away that I need to keep talking. I need to keep following my life forward. But I'm actually planning my life. I'm planning my way forward, yeah? So anything else with music, I understand straight away. I can feel my melodies over here. I'm actually learning how to do melodies much greater. I'm understanding straight away everything's done there. Obviously now anything to do with the nice and beautiful reading section of music production and reading with Mark Sixma. Unfortunately now that's something I can do right away. Unfortunately I can do that right away now. Unfortunately it's more how I feel, and no matter what, that has something better to do. And that's why. And I understand straight away. I'm learning very quickly about how to do something much greater always. So for myself, I understand YouTube, and YouTube Premium is something that I use often. So I'm understanding to keep going with that. And I'm learning very quickly about just going the most affordable way, and locking myself in my room and just doing a great job for myself is the best way forward. So anyway, so what I'm doing now is I'm learning to help myself to deliver content over here. And I'm making sure that no matter what, I'm looking for a better deal. So it's never like it was anymore. It's more how I understand it's something new now. I understand that this time before, I was getting ready to go out to Bonnering. I mean, I had Bonnering tonight. I mean, what's the time now? I'm Bonnering at 8 o'clock tonight. And I was looking forward to something. I was looking forward to seeing some people from the crowd and getting dressed up and all nice and beautiful and looking good for the girls and stuff like that. I remember that. Gosh, it's never like that anymore for me. Oh, I wonder why. But guess what? I understand why. I can see why. I can see straight away that it's more how I feel. I can see it's much more how I understand that no matter what, that I'm learning very quickly how to love my life. But if you want to help yourself to remark yourself much greater, then you have to learn how to project yourself in a greater manner, and you have to understand how to talk your way into a greater way for yourself. So I'm understanding something around life now. I'm understanding that no matter what I'm doing today, I'm learning very quickly about life. I'm learning how to persuade myself to have a greater attitude for myself. I'm learning to become a better individual. But I'm learning how I understand straight away how I'm learning very quickly how I was wasting time with those guys and those ladies and those people. I was wasting time. I was wasting so much time with them. I mean, yeah, I was getting ready for them and I was getting changed to be with them and stuff like that. But I see it's a whole bunch of waste of time. And I understand that. I can see that straight away. And I can see drugs. I can see who went into drugs and what the case is and stuff like that. I'm learning very quickly about life. So I'm understanding straight away that I'm learning very quickly about understanding my life over here. So it's much more how I need to go and grow myself. So it's much more how I need to help myself grow. So as I help myself grow, I'm looking for better ways of dealing with my life. I'm looking for better ways of helping myself find the potential I need to grow myself differently and to understand straight away different areas of my life, for different aspects of my life. But now it's never about going out for me anymore, is it? Gosh, yeah, it is. Gosh, it's still going out. Gosh, I'm still going out. But where? Gosh, it's never about going out for me anymore. At the moment. Gosh, now it's more 1 hour rule for me. All the way. Gosh, all the way. Gosh, now it's more self-reflection time. And it's more about if I go out somewhere, I'm going out just to the shops. I'm going out to get clothes. I'm going out to get my vaccine. I mean, do you understand? Brush, it's about that. Brush, it's just how different it is. And I'm learning very quickly about life. I'm learning how different I am. I look amazing, I'm feeling great. And the main thing is that you feel great about life. I mean, always keep the main thing, as Dr. Brendan Burchard says. I see straight away how I feel. And I'm learning very quickly about life. And as I learn about life, I'm learning about freedom and courage and delivering content for myself over here. Learning to have sex with my words. Learning to understand that no matter what, that I never have sex with myself anymore, because I need to go and grow myself into the best version of myself. and it's more how I feel. I have a bit of a belly over here company. I'm understanding straight away that I'm healthy. And I'm learning something quickly. It's just excess fat from before. I'm learning very quickly about life. So I'm understanding straight away how I feel. I want to grow myself differently. I want to help myself to move around. But I have to move around in order to talk to you guys. And I have to be able to talk much greater. But I never feel like cigarettes. I never want a cigarette. I'm learning very quickly about how I do life much more differently, and how life is different for me and everything I do. I never do drugs for free, guys. I can say it's because it never really does help you. I see cigarettes ruin your life, bro. And sister and bro. I see cigarettes will ruin your life completely. You can say it will take your money away. So it will take your health away, most importantly. So it will, perhaps you may even take your family away. Perhaps you may even kill somebody because you're a person who may never have cigarettes. I see anyway, I never need cigarettes. I realize every single time I'm learning very quickly about life. I'm learning how it's all different and how different I am. I'm very different comparing it with my life and how I feel. And I'm learning much more quicker about life. I'm learning how I'm enjoying myself. And I'm enjoying myself in different ways now. And I need to go and see that it's just 1 hour rule for me now. All the way. And now why is it that way for me? Because I understand, because it's just the way it is for me now. I see 1 hour rule for me now. Unless you have friends on the side somewhere and you want to go see a friend somewhere, which then it's a 6 PM rule. I can tell you right now that no matter what, that you just go with the 1 hour rule all the way. And it's much more how I feel. It's much more how I see my life ahead of me. So that's 71 years of 1 hour rule. I feel myself over here differently, helping myself grow. I see 71 years of 1 hour rule. See, let's have a look over here, put that into play. So 71 years, I'll say 1 hour rule. Applies. I go see my YouTube account, I go see my new credentials. I'll leave it that way. I'm learning something different from everything I'm doing. I'm enjoying myself in the process. I'm learning the key art of persuasion. So I'm understanding that no matter what, now, since I'm understanding that my 1 hour rule counts, actually now, it's more how I feel. That anything that happens at 6 PM rule is 9 to 5. Is 6 PM rule. See, 9 to 5 is 6 PM rule for me. And that's it. Probably the nightlife, probably not. Probably no nightlife for me. Probably now, anything that's nightlife, I understand straight away that I'm looking to help myself grow. I'm looking to help myself to deliver content. I'm increasing my fondness and awareness I'm making sure that no matter what, I'm learning very quickly about life. So what I want to do is help myself to deliver informational services. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just uploading content all day long into Effect. I can see straight away I can put 8 years of content online really quickly, and it's much more how I feel. I feel altogether that's about 16 years of content, but I'm learning very quickly about how I need to put myself in a video. I need to coach myself in a video also. Knuckle. I see anyway. I see it's much more how I'm learning, and I'm learning very quickly about life. I see these Serbian people around town have the 1 hour rule at the moment and 6 PM rule. So they have 9 to 5 and they have 1 hour rule. And it's one of the two. But they have no nightlife. I can tell you that much. And that's helping their 9 to 5 careers. I can tell you that much. And it's helping their family too. Fortunately, the coronavirus period is helping their family too. Because it makes sure that they never go to the nightlife together. So it splits them up. So it's helping their family life. So they're happy that they're on holidays. And that's it. And it's more how I feel. I feel different. I feel that no matter what, that I'm learning very quickly about understanding life. I'm learning to understand higher value tasks at hand. I'm understanding straight away that I'm learning very quickly about becoming much more of a star. But I'm already much more of a star on my YouTube account. I'm learning very quickly about life. I need to do much more synonyms and antonyms. And I'm learning very quickly about just walking around. I see I'm walking around. I'm doing something. I see it's much more how I'm ready to live this life because there is just more to do. I understand there's more to do, so I'm ready to live. I'm understanding that it's much more how I feel that a little bit that way. I'm understanding that it's more I never want to kill myself. But I'm very positive. But it's just never the way it was. It's never the way it was. It's never the way I've seen it before. It's much more how it's all different now. I see it now too. I see it all now. See, it's never the way I see it. See, it's always the way I see it now. But it's much more how this time around, I promise you, all that drugs and behaviour was a waste of time. And all the poker with those people was a waste of time. That's all a waste of time. And the coronavirus period is helping me the most. I mean, I'm in the 1 hour rule. Strictly in the 1 hour rule. Well, they're in the 6 PM rule and the 1 hour rule. But they're only in the 6 PM rule to work 9 to 5. And that's it. And that's it. It's much more how I feel. And people have to do the hours. See, it's much more how I feel. I'm learning very quickly about life. And I never do 9 to 5 during the night time. I do 9 to 5 only in the daytime in terms of work capacity. And it's much more how I feel. Now I'm learning very quickly about life. I'm learning how to grow myself and outgrow fond awareness. I'm learning how to understand how you have to open up a business and how it's all different when you open up a business and you have your own firm and then you're working for yourself and you may partner up with somebody to work together And then you have to understand that you have to work on your own with that person, and you have to compete with other people for the same thing. And it's just a small business, which is a failing business. Which a small business is always a failing business. So how can a small business go into a big business? Well, you have to get other people working for you. But I understand that it's much more if you're a tradie or construction site person. Well, guess what? It's much more how the more people work for you, the more successful you are. But it's more of a slow process, and you have to understand straight away how I feel. And it's much more how stuff goes into it that's different. And I'm learning very quickly about life. Helping myself to do life greater. But people always asking, what's Danny doing? And what's Danny doing? And he's doing his YouTube account. Okay, it's YouTube. And it's much more how I feel. I feel they understand that they're losing out on Danny Milivojevic. So it's much more how funny I am. I'm very funny in terms of how I speak Serbian. So it's much more how I need to I need to laugh it off because it's so funny in terms of how I talk. See, it's much more how I feel. And the funniest thing is when I speak Serbian, and I speak Serbian in different ways. And because I speak Serbian in a way where it's just so funny, because I speak against myself in the words, and that's why it's so funny. But I'm never against myself. That's the thing. I say it's much more how, just like how it is. And I'm growing myself differently, and I'm helping myself to grow with potential. And since I have potential for myself to grow, I'm looking for better ways to deal with life. Oh, I remember I was getting ready to go for poker tonight. I understand how that feels. I was getting ready to go for poker, and now there's no more poker either for me because it's a waste of time. And I was always getting ready to just go to poker, and to go to poker, and to go to poker, but now I have no car. I have no car either. So to go to poker is to get the bus to poker. I never want to do that. I never want to go to poker anymore because that phase is gone from my life. That phase is done from my life. I'm learning very quickly about life. I'm helping myself to deliver content. And I'm understanding straight away how phases of life is passing by quickly. And everything shall come to pass. And yet again, I have to go the 1 hour rule. Well, they are going to get together, of course, to go to nightlife for themselves. But that's because they're drug addicts. And I never need to be around them because it's a waste of time for me. And that's how I feel. And I'm learning very quickly about just going my own direction. And I'm learning very quickly to talk more words in life. And just upload more content. I upload more content and I talk more words, and that's it. I outdo my life properly. It's more how I feel. It's more how I feel. I'm learning very quickly how to deliver content. See, it's much more how you guys need to help yourself to grow yourself. So I'm learning very quickly about life. I'm learning about the strategy of art being performed in art. I'm just uploading content, so I'm doing greater. I'm doing great as a persona. So anyway, so you have to be much more living the appreciation of life with yourself. But if you have a nice and beautiful way of life where you have you and yourself and your family together in the 1 hour rule, probably it's the best kind of way forward. And you're rich. But it's a 1 hour rule for all of you. But it's actually a 6 p.m. rule as well. And you can actually go anywhere you want. And that way you're learning much greater about life and actually doing life in a way of accordance. We're actually growing and throwing yourself at a better place to live life. And you're making sure that no matter what, that you're dreaming somehow of your life. So you're making sure that no matter what, that somehow you're improving yourself in the daily life that you have. And you guys have to be improving yourself in daily life always. And that way you're learning. I mean, you're learning something about different aspects of life differently, and you're making sure that you're giving your whole heart into everything so you can actually perform and outperform people. So you can actually deliver content which is worthy of you every single day of your life. And you're making sure that no matter what, that you're just performing in the best way. So that's how you live life, guys. Once you live life through different ways of being and different ways of doing, and you're showing for it, and you're showing your way throughout life much greater, and you're making sure that no matter what, that your life is improving upon everything. And that's how you improve. That's how you improve, by writing your life forward. I mean, do you understand? So you guys need to appreciate yourself and how you actually love life and find a way forward, yeah? That's all you have to do. If you can find a way forward, then you can find a way through life to make sure that you are composing yourself the best way possible. See, it's much more how it is. And life is going quick. I mean, life is really quickly in the notion, and I'm actually planning my life forward because I can see exactly the direction I'm moving my life in. And it's actually the direction I need to be going in at the moment without anything else, because it's my destiny, and my destiny will attract my destiny. But I'm planning my life forward. I'm planning the best life from this point. And it's much more how you guys need to also do that. And you guys need to plan your life forward. So what can go worse for me is, something happens with me and my mum and we're never talking anymore, or my family abandons me, or my dad kicks me out, or I end up homeless with no family. I never end up homeless with no family, and my dad never kicks me out. I understand straight away. I'm looking at the tides over here. I'm always with my family. I'm always growing myself. But I'm actually understanding something. I'm always lifting myself in the process. But I'm learning very quickly about life and how life is different. And everybody's life is different, and you have to choose your friends wisely. I mean, you understand? And I'm very much more smarter than before. I'm understanding that my 22-year young self just began the journey of life. And I understand I kept myself in the 1 hour rule for 22 to 25 years of age. I was in the 1 hour rule most of the time, playing poker here and there. And I understand straight away, and I was very fat. And I was just like that. I understand straight away that no matter what, now I'm actually loving my life. I'm actually looking for a better time for myself. So I'm learning very quickly about life moving forward. I have new clothing now. I'm feeling much better now. I'm understanding that no matter what, that there's a time shifting over here. I see time and space is shifting into my direction over here. I'm the way. I'm the life. I'm the force of life. I'm the Omega, I'm everything. So I'm understanding straight away that no matter what, that I'm learning very quickly about life. But I always have to have my sights with Jesus Christ, and I have to keep asking Jesus Christ always, because I understand Jesus Christ and his story. I have to relate his story with everything. I have to understand that. I'll never forget about Jesus Christ. I see anyway. So what I'm doing now is I'm focusing on helping myself to grow myself completely, to make sure that no matter what, I have more than enough success all the time, to make sure I'm doing a great job for myself, yeah? So every single day I'm looking to help perform for myself over here, but it's like something's about to happen in my house. And it's because I'm creating this nice and beautiful vibe where I'm just walking around. I need to be walking around always. And it's much more how I feel that with my mum, actually with my mum it's a different life. But I go where my mum goes. And I do with my mum what I need to do. I understand straight away. She might say go somewhere to meet a girl or something. I mean, she might say over here, or she might point the direction to go speed dating, to go meet some kind of woman over there, and choose and stuff like that. So it can happen. Or she maybe something from the family pops in to my life like this, in terms of life, and something happens to me like this, and it's much more how I feel. That you just talk and just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, and that's it. Actually, nothing else. And if it falls into the equation, it falls into the equation. If not, actually never mind. Actually just grow yourself, yeah? Actually, it's much more how you have to understand straight away. You need to help yourself to do a great job for yourself. But you have to expand yourself, and you have to expand your business. And you have to speak English, and you have to speak much more English if you want to help yourself dwell upon life. But after some years of study, I learned something about life and social media, and I'm learning about rejection and how people reject you, and I'm never stopping my force of nature. I'm actually lifting myself even more now. I'm lifting myself more than ever now. I'm actually performing and outperforming myself much more. I'm talking much more. I'm doing much more audio content. I'm doing much more, let's say, on YouTube and stuff like that. And I always have something on YouTube coming up, and people be listening to that forever and forever. And they say this is a time of Danny Milivojevic, and this is who he was, and this is what he done, and stuff like that. So I'm not saying I want to put that in Serbian. I want to put it in Serbian. I want people to understand what I'm doing in terms of Serbian nature as well. And I'm learning very quickly about life. So I'm not saying straight away that I'm learning very quickly about just doing English until I get my Serbian done. And I'm understanding straight away I can start Serbian whenever I want. I can just do that for myself. So I'm not saying that no matter what, that there's no one, there's nobody to look up to except Jesus Christ. First, you must understand. First, it's much more how you have to look up to Jesus Christ, and that's it. First, you must understand. Look for Jesus Christ in all directions, and that way you're enjoying yourself. But I'm not saying straight away how I remember images of the past and how worthy I am in these images. I understand it's like a dream, and it's like a dream come true, but it's also like a nightmare too. You understand? It's also like a nightmare in some occasions. And although it's beautiful, it looks beautiful. Although I understand that. I understand every single time now. I'm understanding straight away how I'm learning how to grow myself differently. And there's a storm out there, so I never want to go out there. So I'm understanding straight away I have to perform inside. So what do I do to get my time in equation? I just talk more words, and I produce more words in the world, and that's it. You guys can listen to me. You must understand, I give you all the ideas moving forward, and I'm making sure that no matter what, I'm learning very quickly about life, and I'm teaching you my persona, I'm teaching you my way of life, and I'm on YouTube, and you guys can watch my YouTube. I understand that no matter what, I'm learning very quickly about life. I'm learning how to persuade myself to do better. And that's it. Apparently, my production content is going up on YouTube much quicker. I'm understanding straight away that I'm learning very quickly about life. I'm always producing content. I'm understanding straight away. I just let it be that way because at least my YouTube is always something happening on my YouTube channel. And that's how I'm doing it for free anyway. I'm understanding something that it's just the way it is. But I can guarantee that you guys will check it out on YouTube, and that you guys will check out my content on YouTube. And it's not sure how I feel that I'm learning very quickly about life. And I'm helping myself to develop on life much greater. And I just keep going. I keep going. I do one photo a day. I see one photo a day of myself over here. Is more enough, huh? Actually, I can do a video here and there. I can do a here and there video of myself notioning for myself over here and there. And a little bit that way. I'm understanding straight away that I'm learning very quickly about life. I'm learning how to perform. And as I perform myself into greatness, I'm looking at myself over here. I'm looking at a better smile. I'm looking at a better way forward. I see now. I'm looking at a nice and beautiful life. But nobody's going to give you life except you. So you're the only type of individual who's going to give yourself life. But God gave you life also. I'm pretty sure you must understand that. God gave you everything that you ever want in this life. Because you're following Jesus Christ. So because you follow Jesus Christ, that's why you do have life. Because you're following Jesus Christ to some extent, that's why you have life to the extent that you do have life. Now, if you eat better, then you'll outlive people by 7 years. I don't know. If you outlive people and you live better than other people in terms of content. So around 10 years of actual content that you can produce much more just by eating better. And I'm understanding straight away that I'm somebody who's wiser. I'm wiser. So as time goes on now, I'm actually understanding that I'm accumulating a better Daniel Milivojevic now. The first 25 years of my life was such a failure. Apparently from the age of, let's say, 12, let's say from the age of 8 to 25, I was a complete failure. I was a complete failure from that age group. I mean, why is that? I was learning from the crowd around me. I was hanging around with communities. I was going around communities doing jack shit. I was doing nothing with them. And now, from the age of 26 to 29, I'm a complete success. I'm a complete success now. And nothing's going to stop in my way, I promise you. I promise you, I have a whole lifetime ahead of me. I promise you, there's a whole life ahead of me. I promise you, it's more how I feel. And now I just keep going. I'm understanding straight away that no matter what, I'm learning how to be a total winner in my life. And I'm learning how to have a better escape plan. I'm understanding straight away how I feel. So no matter what, I'm learning how quickly I can do life quickly. And I can understand straight away that I'm learning much quicker about life. And I'm helping myself to grow. And I'm learning much quicker about life for myself. So no matter what I do, I'm learning very quickly about understanding that I have to create more interest in myself and my YouTube channel in terms of my Instagram channel. So my Instagram channel has to have my nice and beautiful videos coming up on YouTube channel in terms of everything. And it's much more how I feel. And no matter what, I have to post much more on Instagram. I have to understand straight away that I have to create all this content. And I'm learning very quickly about engaging an audience. I'm understanding straight away how I feel. I'm learning how I have a different lifestyle anyway. And I'm learning how to understand something. I just have to keep it up. Keep up the content. Keep up the good work. First, I feel that no matter what, I'm learning something. I'm learning how it feels to be alone. But I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great alone. I'm understanding that once my father and mother leave from this world, I shall be in a better place. I promise you. But then I shall look back at my 26-year young self, and 27 and 28 and 29, and I shall say, yes, Parasha, that man kept me going. Parasha, I look at myself from last year, in terms of Cairns area, and I see a person who's full of spirit. I see a person who fully wants to live life. I see a person who went through some harsh aspects of life and was very close to going to jail in some areas of life. And now, if anything happens where I may go jail, in terms of prison, for something I may have done, then guess what? I promise you, I have freedom at the end of the tunnel. I love I promise you, it's much more how I feel. So no matter what, I'm learning very quickly about helping myself grow. So it's much more how I feel. That you never ever get a knife from your house and go into the streets with it. I mean, never ever carry a knife with you anywhere. I mean, if you're carrying a knife, it's simply just to eat something on your plate and that's it. It's never to go somewhere on the street somewhere holding a knife like a fucking killer or some shit. I mean, the same because the cops over here have a law that if you carry your knife outside of your house, that they can throw you in maximum prison sentence of 2 years. I mean, in a sense, so be careful. I promise you now, I understand straight away how I feel. I'm learning my secrets. I'm learning the secret way of art. I'm learning to update my content all day long. I'm learning to update and upload my content into YouTube. And I'm just keeping it going. I'm keeping the threshold going. And I'm learning how to just develop myself, yeah? And I'm learning how to have content in terms of life. And I'm helping myself along the way to live life much differently, in terms of much more differently. And I'm learning how to advance myself, to progress forward. And I'm learning how to help myself have the greatest time with myself. So if I want to do something to help myself grow, I'm understanding that I'm learning how funny I am. I see every single day I'm learning how I need to go and grow myself. So it's much more how I feel. I see it's just funny. I see it's funny how I do life. I love it. I see it's much more how I need to go and find the best way forward. I need to go and find the best way helping myself move forward. I'm happier. I say, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Say, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. I say, if you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. I say, yes, I'm happy. See, I was clapping my hands, but I mean, maybe you're unable to hear it because I'm holding a selfie stick. So anyway, I'm realizing anyway, so what I want to do now is grow myself and do my awesome life in a way of accordance. I want to do my nice and beautiful financing as well. And I'm learning very quickly about life. So I'm presenting myself in the world full of people. When I'm understanding that I have to also do duties. And I have duties to do as well in this world. And I have something more to do as well than duties. I have my own content to do as well. So no matter what I'm doing, I'm always doing a positive lifestyle. I'm always doing something much greater. So what I want to do is I want to get myself an extra phone. And that phone can do extra activities about uploading to YouTube channel, and a little bit that way. I have myself some phones over here to do some content, and to charge content is the way to go. And I'm learning very quickly about life. Much more. I'm learning much more about life, and I'm helping myself along the way to succumb to something better for myself. So you have to learn. You have to learn how to deal with life. So it's just how it is. And as you go and grow yourself into freedom, I'm understanding something that you just learn how to always have a password in your beautiful tones over here, where you're actually understanding straight away that you need always a password with your YouTube content and what you're doing around life, so you can actually understand something around life to do greater for yourself, and just be uploading content all day long, and be continuously talking to yourself and updating yourself with everything that's going on, because you deserve it. You guys deserve to have a great life. So every single day I'm looking to charge up the flares. I'm looking to charge up the flares of my life. I'm looking to help myself to grow myself personally. I'm understanding straight away how I feel. So all my music has to go up online as well. I want to send all my music up online quickly as well. And I want to understand straight away I need to do that for myself. I need to show you guys my music, and all my music from 2016 album and 2020 and 2021. And I'm just building a YouTube playlist. I'm doing all this YouTube stuff and YouTube playlist stuff, where I'm just learning quickly about different notions and different ways of doing something. I'm learning how to grow myself differently. I'm learning how to help myself to grow myself, but it's more how it is. I'm helping myself to grow. I understand straight away that if you're helping yourself to grow, then you have to understand straight away to love your life and figure out a better way for yourself. Figure out something much more to say, and figure out something much more to do for yourself. And it's much more how I'm feeling much more like a man. I'm feeling much more that I can be alone. I'm feeling like that. I'm feeling happier. I'm feeling happier now. I'm feeling that no matter what, that I'm learning very quickly about understanding that I never want to waste my time. I understand how I can get into a community of people and I can just die down. But I never want to die down. I want to keep producing content. I want to keep working. I want to keep working and doing my thing. Because I may make it. I may make the $1 million. I love life. I may find something to do that helps me to make $1 million, and I love life. It's much more how I feel. I'm learning how to persuade people much greater. So if I have another 20 years of talking experience, make sure you understand that it can change your life. Something can happen from that. 3 years, this whole 3 years of communicational words that I've been talking for 500 hours has definitely gave me an improvement in my vocabulary and speech and how I talk now. I love it. It's much more how I feel now, and how I'm doing much more, how I see how I'm doing much more in terms of how I love my life now than ever before. Because I'm learning how to love my life. So it's much more how I feel. So I feel that every single time I'm learning something funny in my life, I'm understanding straight away I'm just funny in terms of how I love my life. So every single time learn how to grow yourself differently. See, anyway. See, it's much more how I feel. So, I see if you want to help yourself to grow, then find much more better ways of thinking and strategizing your way throughout life. And understand straight away I'm learning very quickly about helping myself to grow. But I'm learning how to love life differently, yeah? I'm learning how to let my mind wander. I let my mind wander. I feel that I can do it. I feel I can do my life much greater. In the word I feel that no matter what, I have more than enough time and space now to live my life much greater. I'm looking for better ways of dealing with life, but Jesus Christ does what I do right now. If he's Danny Milivojevic. What else can you do? Ask Jesus Christ. I mean, Jesus Christ says, keep going. It's the best way I can do it. It's the best way I can do it now. And I'm learning very quickly about life, yeah? I want to say straight away. I can listen to music, but I'm understanding I love the silence anyway. I have some peace and quiet with my music over here. That is silence. So silence is my music. And silence is universal. And it's more how you can label it and you can see it. I mean, you can see what silence is. I mean, it's invincible. It's invincible, and it's invisible too. I mean, you can never crush it. I mean, silence becomes whatever you want it to be. I mean, silence becomes everything. I mean, if you pour silence into a cup, it becomes a cup. And if you pour the silence into a teapot, it becomes a teapot. Be silent, my friend. I asked Bruce Lee to see this. I said, yeah. I said, yeah. I said, that's funny. I see, anyway, I'm learning very quickly about life. See, yeah. See, it's just funny. See, it's much more how you have to understand growth is different for everybody. And I'm improving my life now. I'm definitely on the stock trade doing much greater now. And my stock trade is just speaking more words, guys. I'm understanding how other people have no YouTube channels and they're never doing as much as me in terms of life. So I'm understanding straight away that what I can do is I can lift myself quickly. I can lift myself quickly and I can afford to do so right now because it's much more about helping people with words than it is about making money, because there's only so much money you can make. But you have to understand, you have to meet somebody and you have to do something much greater for yourself. I mean, you understand? Because when you have the money, then you need the family, yeah? But first get the family and then you have the money. First, the family is the money. I mean, you understand? So you should get a family first. We should never run for money first. I mean, put God first. I mean, put family first. I mean, God is family. I mean, you understand? I mean, family first. Which means health first. I mean, health. Put your health first. Because God is health. I mean, health is first, always. I mean, make sure you're never ever dying. I mean, one cigarette can kill your life. I mean, one cigarette can kill your life. I mean, never ever put poison down your throat. Ever again. Because one cigarette can cause cancer. I mean, you understand? I'm learning very quickly about that. I'm understanding straight away that I have more uploading to do. I'm feeling stronger too. I'm learning to just be much greater for myself. I'm learning to help myself do a much greater spot in life. And I'm helping myself to deliver content. But as I deliver content, I'm looking for greater ways of saying something and doing something that's helping me move forward, and that's it. It's more how I feel. I feel different. I feel nice and beautiful for myself. But that's how you have to feel. I mean, you have to feel good.